Commanders, and welcome to this Star Wars Legion Battle Report brought to you by Out of Art Gaming. As always, my name is Phil, and joining me to discuss this Legion game, we have our resident expert on all things Rebel Scum,
James, although I wouldn't say at this point I'm an expert in Legion. I've played some games, I'm familiar, but let us know what rulings we don't understand in the comments.
Absolutely, because I have played 3 games of Legion so far. Absolutely love it, need to play more, but I've only played 3. But fortunately we have 2 players, one who is very experienced at playing Legion on the table. We've got Fraser and Wes, and they're doing a 500-point skirmish game, and at the moment they're just picking their cards so that we know how this battle is going to go. This is something that's actually I found very interesting about Legion, is that you don't go straight into it knowing what you're going to play. There's a bit of randomness to it, which is quite fun.
Yeah, what I found going to my first Legion tournament a little while back was how important these cards actually are. Because if you have what is effectively an old X-Wing bid, you can set up your cards in your favor for your team. So if your squad is favored more towards, say, just flat out elimination of the enemy army, then there are particular encounters and setups that are beneficial to that. Whereas if you're more focused on, say, objectives, there's ones for that as well. But
Interesting, it was very interesting to me when I first saw that, and yeah, it can completely change the dynamic of how you're going to play your game.
Yeah, so Wes is our rebel player. He's running a Leia. Do we call them lists in Legion? I don't even know that, but a Leia-led army with a few veterans, some rebel troops, and a couple of AT-RT walkers, which I always quite like, those little walkers.
They are cool. And as I said, going up against, we have Fraser running his Empire army, which is led by Agent Kallus. He's got 3 units of stormtroopers, those evil death troopers, and the Z4, the 74Z speeder bikes as well. So it's a lot more troop heavy for Fraser.
It is, the Empire, I think, tends to do that. And those speeder bikes can be mean.
Those speeder bikes are brilliant. And the fact that you get 2 in a unit as well. Again, I play Republic and Separatists. And obviously the Barks, you only get 1 in a squad. So I'm just like, you get 2 speeders?
And it doesn't really matter where Fraser sets them up, because they are so quick that they can be almost anywhere in a turn and on top of the enemy.
I mean, they're repulsors, so they have to do a mandatory move first as well. So they can essentially move 3 times and just get right up the board, which, if you're doing an objective-based game, one of the ones where you've got to be in your opponent's setup, that is ridiculous. They are so nippy. But for this, we had it up on screen a moment ago, we've actually got clear conditions for this, so no craziness with ruining ranges.
Yeah, clear conditions, the scenario where you go, you know what, just let's keep it neutral. Everything is all fine. There's no harsh conditions, nothing like that. Basically, disregard that setup phase.
And I like that. The big game I played that we had on the channel, we had the one where you couldn't shoot outside of range 2 in the first couple of turns, which was annoying.
I really like that one because I like playing with Operative Luke, and it lets him get in close enough in the first few turns without getting shot too much.
Well, I was playing with an AAT and I wanted to shoot things that I couldn't to start with, which was disappointing. But The actual objective for this is elimination, so it's all about taking out your opponent's
It
units,
is absolutely
which
a deathmatch.
I absolutely love that. You get an additional point if you take out a commander, operative, or heavy. We don't have any operatives or heavies, so it's all going to be taking out Leia and Adrian Kallus, and it's just a classic battle lines setup. So either side of the board edge and then run at each other, basically, which is a classic. And I love that style of game. It just reminds me of when I first got into miniature war games with the old 40k, of just being across the board from each other and just moving our models towards each other, not throwing them at each other.
It's a figurative throwing.
Absolutely. The dice later on the other hand, they tended to get thrown at people. But that's because we're all immature and now we're much more grown up. We have a dice tray for them to be thrown into.
Now you got some interesting terrain on the board. Is that owned by the shop?
So we've got a mixture of shop terrain and terrain that Wes has actually picked up. In fact, the terrain up by those Death Troopers is from a terrarium. So it's just
I've
nice
heard
to have...
that is good places to get like old sort of relic-looking buildings and stuff. Yeah, that's a little cave, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, it's really cool, but it's some really nice terrain we were able to get set up. Trying to have it as even as possible, like 2 bits on either side, something in the middle, and some barricades set up around there as well.
I mean, when you've got like 5 pieces of terrain, you kind of end up doing like the standard dice pip sort of layout, 1 in the middle, 1 in each corner, and it usually works out fine.
I mean, I've seen some absolutely fantastic terrain pieces, but coming into turn 1 and the command cards we've got is Assault for Fraser and Standing Orders for Wes. Looking like he kind of feels like it's okay to hold back there a little bit and see...
I mean, Standing Orders on the first turn is usually what I see. I've seen a couple of people have like some crazy combinations, like activate things, and like they've got the range already, and so it's like, okay, fair enough, you've planned for this. With Leia on Wes's team, I'm surprised he didn't opt for Leia's Bombardment card. I don't know if he actually has it.
He does have that, and we were discussing this later, and Wes has played a few games, but not as... Fraser's probably one of our like resident Legion experts in store. He plays X-Wing, but has gone to the dark side literally here with the Empire. And Wes, he just loves to play anything with models, really.
Yeah, that's fair.
So he does have that card, and again, I think it's similar to the Republic's Airstrike one, where if you're not familiar with it, you're just like, oh, well, when should I use this? And it's a really good opener because you do get to just do that crazy...
Well, it's also good at the opener because it's range 4+. And once you start getting into the fight, there's not many options beyond range 4 for Leia. Because her main gun is range 2, and if you're not utilising that, then what are you doing with her?
Yeah, and especially with this, obviously it's quite a small board space as well for 500 points. So yeah, it would have been really nice to see that straight away. That could have been quite painful, especially looking towards those Death Troopers up the top, because they are very hardy.
Death Troopers can definitely live up to their name in this game. What have they got? They got disciplined, precise, and ready.
Yeah, and on top of that, they've got the Overwatch card as well. Yep. They've got the
config, they've got an extra guy with his big gun. They've got so many different guns to choose from. It's quite crazy.
Yeah, they're just really scary. So I mean, they're quite far out of the way, but they can still move up fairly quickly. And once they sort of get themselves into position, they are just going to be quite horrible. So, I mean, especially with Ready 1, that's quite a nice... Ready 1 plus Overwatch, it just seems quite intense for them. So
So ready one is after you perform a standby action, gain an aim. So standby aim. Oh look, Overwatch is triggered, and I'll take the shot with the aim token I've now got.
yeah, that's just so cool. I like that combination.
And then once you have the aim, that triggers their precise 2, where when you spend an aim token, you can reroll 2 additional dice.
Yeah, they are just incredibly powerful. But looks like Fraser is really running up the middle with those stormtroopers. Looks to me like he's trying to keep his options open to see where Wes is going to go, and then just try and focus fire something down.
The thing I found, particularly playing as Rebels, is that they are good at holding down positions, but not so much attacking enemies that are already entrenched. So by getting those stormtroopers behind cover already, kind of forcing Wes to get a little bit closer, not getting their dodge tokens for their nimble ability, could mean that they just get picked off quite easily by the stormtroopers.
I mean, that's exactly how I see them as well, because the Rebels, they've got more tricks up their sleeves. These stormtroopers they don't have a lot. They've got precise 1, and that's about it. Whereas the Rebels always do temple tricks.
With the white attack dice.
Yeah.
But the Rebels have white defense dice, which I feel are worse.
I mean, it's the same in X-Wing though. Attack dice are always better than defense dice.
Yeah, otherwise the game would just be a stalemate.
Yeah. I mean, considering
Rebel veterans though, who, whilst they also have a white defense die, they do surge on defense, those ones, which is quite nice.
Those veterans are pretty cool as well, actually. I don't know, where I obviously play Separatists and Republic, a lot of the miniatures I've got, they're sort of quite uniform, but the Rebels, they just seem to have a lot more
It's like, what planet Rebels do you want? Do you want the forest guys? Oh, cool, that's these ones. Do you want the ones from Scarif? Oh, cool, you get these ones. Do you want the ones from the ship at the start of A New Hope? Yeah, you grab the fleet troopers. Do you want Hoth guys? You got Rebel veterans. You've got a lot to choose from for an aesthetic.
And you can just really customize each miniature with their paint job. They don't have to be all in there. Oh, we do have our first attack. Those speeders are going into the Rebel troops at the bottom there.
Mean attack.
Yeah.
Those guys have no cover. They are out in the open.
Yeah, we were saying about those speeders being very nippy earlier. Ooh.
And that's a nothing.
That is...
Unless those are those the veterans? No, the veterans are... the veterans I think are the ones near the middle, because they would be next to their emplacement gun.
Which, when I was looking at the list, Wes sent me the list so that I could obviously do all the after game stuff, and I was just there going, where's the emplacement? Where's the emplacement? And I didn't realise it was one of those ones like the probe droids that you have to add the original unit before you get the option to add that unit afterwards.
Oh, I see. You're trying to add that to the builder before the others. Yeah, make sure you can't do a legal list, I guess.
Yeah, which is quite good because it makes sense. Again, like with Darth Maul and the probe droids, you can't have the probe droids without him. So
the combination of the emplacement gunner with veterans and like the fire support stuff, you can throw so many dice at an enemy with that.
We'll see if we get rid of that suppression, but not this time.
Just one action for the remaining 3 troopers, which is probably just an attack back.
I mean,
whilst you've still got the heavy gunner with his... Was it 6
white dice? Yeah.
Basically a whole squad of stormtroopers in one guy. For offense, at least.
I mean, it is white dice, though. But still, getting to chuck that many, I mean, unfortunately, no chance to aim, which could have been actually really handy for this shot, but...
Oh.
Yeah, it could have been quite handy, just...
Then again, the black dice also missed.
Yeah. So, just the one hit going through and I'm pretty sure that those speeders would just ignore it
Yeah,
anyway.
they get armor 1, I think, for
Cover 1.
cover 1. That's the one. I knew they
Yeah.
could reduce it somehow.
I think that Fraser would have liked them to have armor 1, and so would have Wes actually, because he has stuff with impact, which would have been quite good for him. But those, cover 1 is incredibly handy for
I
those
guess the
speeders.
difference does mean that Leia is actually quite good against them, which I guess canonically also fits, because cover is just ignored by her.
Yeah.
She has, which one is it? Sharpshooter 2. Just reduce their cover by 2, so always, really, because there's no cover 3, right?
Well, it stacks, doesn't it? So if they had cover 1 and they were in cover,
But
so that,
you've got to
I
be really worried about a unit to get them that in cover, right?
I mean, you'd have to have like cover 1 and then be behind heavy cover to then still get.
I mean, these Death Troopers definitely have it in their little cave.
Yeah, these Death Troopers. When Fraser's like, "Where are you going to move them?" and he's like, "I'm going to move them through the cave." I'm like, I need to get a shot at that. I mean,
could you imagine
Death Troopers
wandering through a desert, turning into a cave, and just seeing 5 Death Troopers in there?
I think I'd prefer to see Vader than 5 Death Troopers, to be honest. I mean, actually, I don't know. That's
Well, I mean, at least with Vader, you go out from probably a lightsaber.
Yeah, and I can imagine that's probably preferable to a blaster. Well, I don't know. But either way, going into a cave and seeing 5 Death Troopers would be
looks like
quite
the
a sight.
veterans are heading over to help out against the bikes.
Yeah, Wes really doesn't want those bikes just to sneak into his backliners.
If they get behind, then that's a problem. Now, what
Especially
is the fire support?
Is it 1 to 2?
I'm not seeing a range thing on it, actually. It says when another friendly unit performs a ranged attack, if you have a face-up order token, each minion in your unit... Oh, okay, hang on.
That's not great. But they get surge to hit, is it? Or surge to crit, in fact.
The veterans surge to hit and defense.
So that's a little bit better. So cover 1 will get rid of that.
Can't avoid those crits, no matter what.
Yeah. You want to try and get as many crits in as possible on those guys.
I do like how powerful crits are in Legion. It really feels like, oh yes, I got a crit. Especially since there's only ever 1 on each die.
Yeah. That is actually quite handy. I mean, obviously in X-Wing, crits are good once you've got the shields down. But in Legion, where it's like, well, unless you've got something crazy, you can't dodge them. And it's like, whoa, okay. And if you just roll a handful of crits, you suddenly just look at it going, yep, I have done some serious damage there. But it's only 1 wound on those speeders at the moment.
I feel like Wes, I don't know, if he focuses any more on the speeders, then he's turned half his army away from all of Fraser's, really. Because he still has that walker that I don't think is activated in the middle of the board.
No, the lower walker, so at the moment it's Leia, the emplacement, and the lower walker that haven't activated.
Yeah, because I think that walker could probably move down towards that little house and probably shoot over it. But I think it's better off just staying put and just shooting some stormtroopers, because it's got the big range 4 gun on it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's got the AT-RT laser cannon on there, which is quite devastating. It'd be quite good at just getting rid of some of those troopers. I mean, at the moment, Wes doesn't want to be focusing too much on those speeders, because if he leaves 3 units of stormtroopers coming at him, it's not going to be ideal. But at the same time, he wants to get rid of those speeders, because once they get in behind, that's going to be a nightmare for the AT-RT and the emplacement, because they're fixed front arc.
It's a tricky call, and I don't know which one it would be for me to choose. Also, we saw Kallus move up a little bit towards the end there.
He wants to get in close with his bow staff.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, do you know what version he has equipped currently? I would imagine you'd start off with it in like the ranged mode, right?
Yeah, so he's got the ranged mode equipped at the moment. And then obviously he's got his in combat variant. But it looks like we've got a shot from the blaster going into those stormtroopers. 2 hits. It's got the aim though. With black dice, this could be pretty good. They've obviously got cover, so it's going to get rid of one of those hits.
Or one of those hits.
Or that hit. But 4 hits going through, so that's not bad at all.
That's a good shot.
Yeah. So heavy cover there from the barricade, so it gets rid of 2. But let's see if we see any stormtroopers go down. Oh, just the one. Sad stormtrooper.
Aww.
I do like the paint job Fraser's got there. Those black lines, just they feel
Yeah,
very
those
accentuated.
really make White stand out.
Yeah,
He's done a good job.
It's really nice. Looking at what's left on Fraser, I think it's just these stormtroopers down at the bottom right left to go.
We got Leia as well.
Yeah, so
Okay.
obviously Wes has 7 activations to Fraser's 6, so he actually used the, is it pass or skip?
I think it's
to-
pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
One
He
of
used
the
the pass.
new rules.
Yeah, so that meant that Wes would then take the next activation so he could react better with his other stormtroopers. Looks like we've got an aim from the ATRT. He's gonna try and take out some more of those stormtroopers.
I mean, the crit will go through,
Yeah,
at least to the defense dice.
yeah.
There's that heavy cover.
So
One thing I found is you kind of set up a lot of boards and you go, right, what is light cover? And you kind of look around and you go, well, it's kind of none of it really.
yeah,
But it's the same for both teams, so.
yeah. And I think you have to define what counts as what at the start of the game. But if you don't do that, you then get into a debate later on. You're like, oh, did we say this was heavy? Did we say this was
That's
light?
be light cover because I've got, rebel operatives or. No, what is it?
Yeah.
Rebels. What are the Endor ones? I've got them. Commandos, that's the one. Because they got low cover.
So would that give them cover 2 then if they were in light cover? Yeah. Oh, looks like those stormtroopers are going in to support the
I
bikes.
mean, it makes sense. Like, if Wes activates his stuff first next round, he's still going to shoot at the speeder bikes rather than the troops behind them.
Yeah. And the thing with the speeder bikes is they obviously, as we said, they have to move when they activate. So are they going to still be
Well,
in a
yeah.
good position? Are they going to just jump straight over?
I think they're in a good enough position, at least at the moment, that they would move, get right up in those rebels' faces, and then potentially do a move past them.
Yeah.
Then again, I don't know how beneficial that would be. I think you probably just let them sit there, like do the move that you have to do, and then just aim and shoot.
Pretty much. I mean, they get a good amount of dice there.
I mean, what's the threat? That the rebels try and punch the bikes? That's not going to happen.
No. I mean, like I said, they've got a good amount of dice for the speeders. They've got 2 white, 2 black, 2 red with impact 1. So if they did decide to go for the ATRT, that could actually be quite handy for them. Or if they just
how versatile the ATRT is with the 3 different guns. It's like, do you want a sniper? Sure, stick the one that we've got here on. Do you want like a sort of mid-range kind of thing? Cool, Gatling gun. Do you want to just run at the enemy and burn all of them? Flamethrower.
Oh, absolutely. It is. It's just so much fun that you have that. Like a lot of the like models in the game where you can do that do have some really good versatility. Like the Barks as well can do multiple different things.
Oh, that was Leia. Okay. I was like, wow, that was a good shot. Who did that? Oh, Leia. Cool.
Yeah. There was a bit of a debate as to whether Leia could move up, as to whether she would be in line of sight of the Death Troopers in the cave.
Oh, to trigger their Overwatch.
Fortunately, that position Leia got herself into was out of line of sight, so that is...
Out of line of sight isn't quite as catchy as out of arc.
No. I mean, I'm kind of glad we started with X-Wing first, but I'm really glad we're bringing Legion into our repertoire because it is just so much fun. Like, the one thing I will say though is if you've built an AT-RT model, they're not fun to build.
So Wes has gone for push, which is just activate 2 units, and Fraser's gone for Kallus's ISB investigation, which is basically pick a number and the opponent puts away cards with that many pips on it for the next round.
Yes.
So,
which actually, I believe Fraser actually picked the number 2, and that got rid of the Leia positive card.
It's what's the second one? No Time for Sorrows. 2 friendly troops, and they can do a move when they're issued an order.
Pretty sure that's the one that Fraser basically turned off for the next round.
Yeah, I was reading up on Kallus because I wasn't too familiar with him. I saw that, I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I realised that could really shut down Han Solo because you just go 0. It's like, oh, but I was going to do my thing. I was going to do shooting first next turn.
That's where knowing what your opponent's potential lists and cards come in real handy.
Or if you're in a position where you're like, oh man, Sabine is about to throw down some bombs next turn.
Yeah.
You do have to really think ahead though, because it's not the current turn that it's thrown away, right? It's the next turn.
It's the next turn, yeah. So next turn, that is a card that Wes cannot use. So, but it looks like, so Fraser obviously got the activation, so he is player 1 for this turn, and he is obviously doing his compulsory move for the speeder bikes.
And I thought it was going to be, okay.
Yeah, well, it's a normal move, isn't it? So...
he's trying to get around them. I'm not entirely sure on the rules for having to move into enemies. Because I don't use speeder bikes, I've only fought against them a few times.
So you can't move into engagement range with them. You have to... I don't think you would push them out the way. I'm not 100%. Again, I'm still... There are some rules that I am still very much learning myself. Although it does look kind of cool where they've just jumped over a building. I just kind of imagine it doing a barrel roll at the same time over the building, just to be like, woohoo!
Also, maybe if you have these, consider some like blue tack for if you do end up on a roof.
Yeah.
Also, that poor gunner.
Yeah, that's not great. I mean, it looks like Fraser's trying to get just out of his forward arc there, which...
See, now he's living up to the name.
Yeah, now he's living up to the name. It doesn't happen often, but there is options to be out of arc in this.
I do like that Legion is a little bit more free with movement as well. Especially since you can just move the leader and then go right, and then the rest of the squad is here.
Yeah, that's something I found really interesting as well, because you could literally start with your leader at the very front, move your leader up, and as long as you're in coherency, everything else just suddenly goes even faster.
Oh, that's a mean... These speeder bikes...
And they surge to hit as well.
Oh, and another one from the aim.
Oh, 5, and that's actually going into the ATRT, so that's impact 1 as well. I actually think that's the right option, the right call to go into the ATRT.
I forgot that they had impact. So yeah, going for the ATRT with that gun definitely makes sense. And if you can get 3 damage on it, that's fantastic for Fraser.
And the Rebel ATRT gets surge to hit, not surge to defense.
Yeah, for having full armor, like there's no limit to the amount of armor it has. Because some units have like armor 1 where you only cancel 1 regular hit.
Yeah.
ATRT just has armor, so all regular hits are cancelled. So I think that's a decent trade-off for having white defense dice and no surge.
Well, the Republic ones have surge to block, if I remember rightly.
They newer out the factory? The Rebels have repurposed them. Maybe that's...
I mean, I had this discussion with Fraser. Well, the clone troopers are wearing armor, so maybe, but it gives them their own twist on like a similar unit, though.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's the same model. We all have the same stats. Well, no, we'll tweak it a little bit.
And it looks like these 3 troopers down here are going to see how they can do against the stormtroopers.
A lot of dice. Not many hits though. Was it 3 at the moment?
Yeah, so we've got 2 hits and a crit. We do have the aim with precise 1 and a surge to hit. No, so surge to block or surge to hit? I mean, that's 3 going into... Oh, wow.
Well, never mind.
Yeah, just the 1. Just the 1 stormtrooper down. Those rebel troopers are not having a great time there, are they?
No.
I think maybe like they've got sand in their eyes. It's like gunking up their guns. Like they can't get their scopes in. Just a little bit unfortunate.
Wes needs to do something pretty big, I think.
He's very much in danger of losing that unit quite quickly. Which would be a shame, because that would give Fraser...
I was going to say maybe you can get an ATRT to take a decent shot at Kallus, but now Kallus is behind some heavy cover, so that's not ideal.
Yeah. I mean, if you can... I mean, Kallus is obviously a good option to go for, because he's worth 2 points.
It also potentially lowers Fraser's, courage across the team, because they can't share, so they might panic a bit more. Then again, the Rebels don't really do suppression too much.
Like Kallus is actually going into that emplacement gun. Which is a good shot, actually, because it hasn't activated yet.
Yeah. That's true, yeah. Shooting anything that hasn't activated, if you can take it out off the board, then fantastic.
And he's got surge to crit as well.
I mean, it's Kallus. You'd expect it from a named character to have some decent stats.
Yeah. His card is just chock full of stuff. Contingency 2, Cunning, Flawed, Sharpshooter 1, Tactical 1.
He's got some good stuff on his card. I think the best thing, though, are his mutton chops.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They are impressive.
I love that the design of them fit perfectly with the helmet. Like, he's so, like, for the Empire. He's like, yeah, I'm shaving with my helmet.
I imagine with the one, he's got the helmet on, he's got the clippers out, he's like, right, get that line.
It's like the equivalent of an Imperial bowl cut.
Yeah. Oh, and that blaster is left with a 1 wound.
I mean, you got to activate it now, right? Before it just gets plinked by one little bit.
So, I mean, it would be silly not to. And if it was me, I don't know if he's got those bikes, but I would go into those troopers there.
I don't know, he might have pointed at Kallus there.
I don't know whether I'm not sure if I'd go into Kallus. Oh, he is going into Kallus. Alright then. Ignore me. I mean, again, it's one of the. It's kind of worth it. He's got. Kallus has activated, so
There is
no
also
harm there.
Kallus's floor card to remember, where you may play this card at the start of the command phase if there is a wounded enemy agent Kallus. So you have to hurt him to be able to do this. At the end of that enemy agent Kallus's activation, if he performed an attack, he gains 4 suppression tokens.
Oh yes, there is that. Well, he's got that wound on to Kallus, so I could imagine we would probably be seeing that floor card next turn.
I imagine,
especially if Kallus is going to get close.
You gain 4 suppression, and you can do an attack, or you go, all right, I just won't attack for that round, and you don't have an attack for that round.
Yeah, he'll get the option just to move up, but it shuts down that potential of your stuff of losing models from Kallus. Because again, I mean, with his blaster, that's 2 black and a white. With his bow rifle, that's 2 black, 1 white, 1 red at range 1 to 3, and it's got lethal 1 as well. And one attack, you may gain 1 aim token. Spend 1 aim token to gain Pierce 1. It's quite intense, that weapon.
Hell of a gun, yeah.
And it's obviously longer range than his normal weapon as well. So, looks like some stormtroopers just trying to get some shade. And that's what it's
saying. I don't know necessarily what planet this is, but it doesn't look particularly shady.
No. I mean, my instant thought with the buildings that they're hiding behind it is that it's most likely Tatooine.
I mean, yeah, especially with that house there. So that's the Tatooine house, yeah.
Ooh, that's a big shot. 5 coming in there onto those troopers. Will they survive?
I don't think they all will.
No, 1 is definitely going down. If they survive, though, that'll be very impressive.
No.
Oh, nearly.
3 though.
That is an early point for Wes. So for Fraser on the victory points there as well. Fortunately, they had already activated, so it's not like Wes was losing out on any damage output there, but still, they really just got shot up.
So I think Wes is starting to think about what to do with his veterans. Does he carry on shooting the bikes, or does he rush those troopers that just activated?
If it was me, I think I'd go for those troopers.
Yeah, they'd be easier, I think, to take out.
Yeah, because they. I mean, what token is? Again, my ignorance there. What token have they got there by them? Is that a standby or?
I think it's a dodge.
Oh, a dodge token. Okay.
I can't quite.
I think it is actually a dodge
if that was an aim.
Yeah.
I think the other's a dodge. Oh yeah, it would be a dodge because the veterans have defend 1. After you are issued an order, gain 1 dodge token.
To check my cards so much because I'm not familiar enough with them.
I'm glad you sent me these lists before the game because I've got them up on a screen next to me so I can quickly.
But it looks like they are actually going into those speed bikes.
That's a lot of dice.
Oh, that's unfortunate though.
Oh, that's yeah.
I mean, they've got the aim.
Crit. I mean, the 1 hit will go away.
Yeah, because of cover 1.
I mean, I get wanting to shoot with an aim token at the bikes though, because to get those troopers, you would have to move and shoot.
Yeah. Oh, does get a wound on a speeder though, but they have 3 wounds apiece, if I remember rightly. Oh, we'll double check that before. Yes, 3 wounds.
They also don't have the vehicle damage thing. I guess because this
No.
that would get complicated.
Oh, well, that would be really confusing. Yeah.
I can
And they
never
also don't-
remember which symbol on the die that you roll equates to what kind of damage the vehicle gets. I always have to look it up.
So, Fraser does actually have one which has the damages
I've
on it
seen
instead.
those. I do want to pick one up at some.
Yeah, I did like the look of that. It was quite an interesting one to have, and I was like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. Similar to one of the guys in store actually does have 4 X-Wing. He's made an 8-sided scenario rolling dice.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. It took him a while though. He 3D printed it. It took him a while to get the balance right on it.
That, yeah.
He kept coming up with salvage and it was like, this can't be right. So, Stormtroopers going to see if they can take out that pesky blaster.
So they've got a lot of options, but that is too tempting to pass up, I think.
I mean, 1 wound left on it, and that's another victory point if he takes it out.
Test shot?
No. But
The
third
surge
hit. And so the suppression will get rid of 1.
Oh, yep. Light cover for having a suppression token. Which is a rule I need to try and remember more.
Oh, unfortunate. That is
That's gone.
the blaster down. You did well, my friend. You did well.
He did alright. I don't think we saw Wes utilise the combined fire stuff, though.
No.
Was it fire support?
Yeah, unfortunately, that didn't really get utilised there. It could have been quite handy.
Because that, I've had Luke Skywalker trying to defend 9 shots against one of those.
9 shots.
I mean,
Ouch.
he lived and bounced a lot of it back with deflect, to be fair. I got very lucky on that defense roll. But 9 dice, or 9 hits to defend, rather. I think it was more dice than that.
Well, I mean, I've come up against... Was that Operative Luke?
Yes.
I've come up against Operative Luke once, and he was just incredibly rude, and I didn't like it very much. I think I had a unit of droidicas and a unit of B1s trying to take him down, and all I could do was suppress him, and that was about it. He just laughed everything else off.
Yeah, the Rebels have very good named characters. Like we saw earlier, Leia just took a shot and took out, 3 troopers?
And it looks like we might be seeing the last 2 troopers in that unit go down there. From the
Yeah.
AT-AT.
If she can get into her range 2, she can destroy things, really.
Oh, so re-rolling those, because obviously the heavy cover would just get rid of them, so we're seeing if he could actually get crits there on those. Oh, but 1 does go down.
Okay.
Just the leader left now. Looking around going, move forward. What? There's no one to move forward. Oh, guys, hello. Can I join you?
Thing is, we're looking at the board going, okay, this seems alright. But there's still Death Troopers in that cave.
Yeah, Death Troopers are gonna pop out of that cave in a minute. And they are a nasty unit. A very nasty unit. They're an expensive unit. I mean, this is a 500-point game, and they are 111 points off.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's the total count with all of their upgrades, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, with all of their upgrades. I mean, the DLT 19 Trooper is 30 points on his own. That's a big expenditure. But I mean, that does give you a range 1 to 4 shot with impact 1, 2 reds, and a white as well.
I mean, a red die on its own is scary. 2 reds.
Yeah.
A worrying sight. Especially at range 4 as well.
It's quite nasty.
It's an extra trooper in the unit, which just means more health all round.
Yeah, and then he's got the config on there as well, which actually gives them suppressive.
Yeah, they can be very suppressive, the Death Troopers. Although Leia does have her, which one is it? It's Inspire 2, which is quite nice.
I mean, when I'm trying to build lists, I'm always looking at the cards you can put on them and what is that. I'm still trying to find for myself that balancing act of
Upgrades to units.
Yeah, upgrades to units, making sure that I've got an upgrade that's going to actually synergize with my list, or do I want it just to make that character really good at the one thing they do? And it's so hard. Oh, we have a speeder down and 2 on the other.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Those rebels
still sweet that could maybe finish that off?
I think we might have an ATRT, but it all depends on whether he actually has arc there.
I mean, you could just do a rotate, or was it a pivot action?
Yeah. Does that count as a move, though?
It does, yeah. So you can get the aim, or I guess you could just use his little handgun, take an aim and try a shot with that.
Yeah, true. I mean, either or is going to be if you can take out the
if you can rotate and take the shot, you've got a red and 2 black die as opposed to 2 white.
Is it range 2 to 4 though?
It's 2 to 4, so yeah, it might be too close actually.
Oh, but here come those Death Troopers.
Moving out.
I mean, when Fraser was sending me his list options,
Kind of grabbed that last guy out of there. I was like, there he is, yeah.
Yeah, he was debating whether to do Death Troopers or to do the new Dark Troopers, but I think the Dark Troopers I don't think he'd managed to get them painted in time, and they were quite expensive to actually have.
They seem very good alongside Gideon. I'm not sure they work too well just as I'll throw them in here. Whereas the Death Troopers work really well with Krennic, but also you can just throw them in a list like this and just go, yeah, cool, they're a strong unit, let's go.
They're very strong. They are going to just unload on Leia there. Very points aggressive from Fraser.
I mean, given the targets that they have, makes sense. Although, maybe split the fire a bit and have the range 4 guy take a shot at the Walker, because he has the impact.
That would be quite a solid option as well.
I often forget that you can split fire as well. It's something I'm just, whoa!
That is incredible.
That's 6?
That's 6. That's 3 crits and 2 hits. So.
Okay. Well, Leia's probably going to take something. Ooh.
It takes 3. That is
half health on Leia.
Yeah. No, yeah, remembering that you can split fire is obviously... I do sometimes forget that as well. Again, we're playing X-Wing so much, it's a case of, well, that ship can only shoot a 1 unless it's got a specific upgrade.
You don't go, I've got my main gun, a cannon, and torpedoes, I'll fire all of them. Then again, that's more like assault on a ATST in Legion.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, the ATSTs, they look really cool, but also look quite scary.
Oh yeah, I just hide from them. Like, if it's a objective game, it's like, get on the objective in a way that the ATST can't see you. Otherwise, I've never taken one down.
I mean, when against your T-70s, I'm very ready to be able to take any of them down.
Well, yeah, if I had an X-Wing Legion, that'd be different, but...
I mean, obviously, I don't think we're ever going to see anything like that in Legion.
No, I'm surprised we can have the Snowspeeder.
From what I understand, that's the only thing that's not actually to scale in the game.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's slightly smaller. But I mean, the snow speeder does look so cool, though. Like, I do like the vehicles we have with the AAT, the LAAT,
Sorry,
the
that
Saber.
it's just dead.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter because Leia's got PS1.
yeah. Night.
PS1 is, well, I mean, any amount of PS is great, but just PS1 is like, no, it's just that one guy. He's done. Doesn't matter.
It was. Wes needed that. He did need that
He's behind
badly.
heavy cover. Leia goes, no, I don't care about cover. So, but I've got defense dice. Like, no, I don't care about your one defense die. If Leia rolls a hit, you're taking a hit.
So the ATRT does not have fixed front arc on the speeder bike. Also, he's at range 1 anyway, so wouldn't matter.
I guess Kallus.
Yeah, I mean, Kallus is an option, or you could just do a normal gun, see if you can take out that ATRT. Kallus is already wounded, so you can play the floor card. Admittedly, it'd be quite nice to actually just unload and see if you can take off more health on him.
I mean, it does seem the best target. He's wounded. I mean, you could shoot the troopers next to him.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, how much health does Kallus have in total? We have
6.
He's got 5 health. Yeah, I'd probably shoot the leader. Just double checking that arc on the bikes just in case, because that is definitely the one you would want to shoot. Oh, that's the point. Yeah, you could run in and try the claws. Because they're pretty nasty. I always forget about them.
Yeah.
3 red dice. Yeah.
Oh.
All right, fair enough.
And obviously no cover 1 because it's a range. It's not a range attack.
Yeah. And it has impact.
No armor though.
Oh yeah.
I know it's weird. You kind of expect
that's armor. No, that's not the rules.
Yeah.
Oh,
3 hits coming in.
The bike could still survive this.
Well, he's only got 1 wound left. But he could. I mean, if he gets an incredible roll.
I didn't say would. But yeah, I forgot that the ATRT had those claws, despite having used them a few times myself.
Oh, it does get Surge to block.
Wow.
Although I think they actually took away a hit there by mistake.
Yeah, I
was for cover 1.
But oh, well, we're learning.
Yeah. I mean, unless that ATRT stopped, took his claws off and launched them at the speeder, but still, Surge on that.
The knowledge of knowing the difference between a melee attack and a ranged attack.
Well, it's very different in Legion with that, isn't it? But I mean,
but also, even if they had rolled those defense dice, I mean, let's just say that the bike rolled the right defense anyway. Let's carry on.
Yeah. He rolled exactly what he needed.
Ambush and Ruthless Tactics. So ambush, the 1 pip for 1 unit activating straight away. I'm wondering what that's going to be for Wes. Maybe the ATRT again, just to try the claws 1 more time quickly. Oh, he's passing the floor.
Here is the floor. Developing sympathy. So as he said, if Kallus makes an attack, he will gain 4 suppression tokens.
And the Kallus card that was played was Ruthless Tactics. After an enemy unit defends against a ranged attack, it gains 1 observation token or 2 observation tokens if it has a number of suppression tokens equal to or exceeding its courage value. That's a lot of words. During Agent Kallus's activation, he may perform a free recover action. So an easy way to quickly change his weapon over and I guess get rid of the suppression that he would get from the floor card, but I guess he has to activate, so the timing on that's a bit off.
Yeah.
So the other part of that is gaining observation tokens or more if you're suppressed, basically. Okay.
So the ATRT is going to try and take out that speeder again in melee. Again, cover 1. Not correctly used, but
is throwing down the 1 pip. You know, if you can claw this thing before it speeds away.
My.
Done it again. What? No.
That speeder.
Oh.
That speeder could dodge trees on Endor, it could.
Yeah, that's the one actually weaving in and out. The other guy was doing the one who hit a branch.
And that's why he's the unit leader.
I hit a branch on this map as well.
Yeah. And yeah, you can see Wes not impressed with that, because that speed is now just going to...
Pip and one of your walkers, like the heavy hitter of your team, for nothing.
Yeah.
Two times in a row, and now the speeder bike's just zooming away from it.
He's literally just there waving, bye. I see another unit.
The Kallus card doesn't actually limit the number of times the observation thing activates. It's just after an enemy unit defends, it gains an observation token.
Wow.
So if
is there a range on it?
Focus fire, no. Unless it's been errated and I'm not looking at the right card, but I'm not aware.
We're looking at the right card. That is pretty good. Oh, 2 hits and a crit going into those rebels there.
I do like some of these cards because, like, okay, Kallus himself is a decent fighter. We can see that on his stats. But he is more of a leader, and that is a leader card.
Yeah. Ouch, that speeder. He's really going to try and get himself MVP for this game. He's done so much work. Yeah.
If Wes's ATRT had taken that out, that would have saved 3 troopers.
I mean, that was some incredible defense dice rolling there. Like 2 turns in a row, just actually just went, nope, I'm okay. But the other ATRT is going to see if he can get rid of some death troopers. I agree. He needs to get rid of those death troopers because they are in a very scary position right now.
They haven't activated.
Yeah.
And they still only have 1 health per unit.
Yep.
They do surge on defense, but at the moment, that's kind of all they've really got going for them. And red defense dice, I guess, which are very good.
Heavy cover, so they're going to get rid of 2 of those.
So just the one going through. Oh no, that's
trying to aim, see if he can get those crits.
Yeah, if they're going to disappear and become just 1 die, yeah, give it a go. And yeah, they surge, so no damage, but a bit of suppression.
I mean, they're in a really good position there anyway. Cover, obviously, from the ATRT. If Leia or the Rebel troopers shoot at them, they shouldn't get cover, am I right? Or is it if any part of the base is obscured?
I'm never 100% sure on cover. I don't think they should have cover. If anyone up the board shot them, really.
And there's that suppression gone on the death troopers as well.
It makes sense to activate them because it's clear that Wes is going to start focusing them down. Looks like they are taking their not observation. That's the other way around.
Standby.
That's the one. Standby.
The ready one.
Yeah.
So they're going to dodge and stand by, giving them the aim, and that's just absolutely incredible. And with precise 2, they're just really efficient. And unfortunately, no removal of the suppression there. But the death troopers, do they shoot straight away, or would it be after?
It is after the opponent does an action, I think.
Okay, so the rebel troopers are going to try and take out that speeder.
It's standby, isn't it?
Yeah.
Standby. During the activation phase,
2 hits and cover 1 is going to get rid of 1 of them. Or is it already? And the speeder is down.
Hooray! Finally, vengeance.
He's done well though. I'm not going to lie.
He's taken out a lot of units.
I think Fraser was probably actually quite mildly surprised with how efficient that unit was.
After a trooper or ground vehicle unit with a standby token performs an attack move. No, hang on. I'm getting this wrong.
Well, it looks like the Death Troopers are going to be using their standby now.
Yeah, it's basically if they do an action or an attack or move, you can just afterwards take a shot.
But it doesn't even have to be at the unit that activated.
Yeah, that always seemed weird.
It
I
does,
always
because
thought
like,
it
they're going to
should
try to
change.
take out Leia. Yeah, I know what you mean. It feels like that. It's like, oh, what's that over there? Like a unit has moved or a unit has done something. It's alerted them. Like I almost imagine that Metal Gear Solid like exclamation mark appearing above their head.
I always feel like it's was it XCOM's Overwatch thing, where if you move across a gap and the aliens spot you, they'll shoot that unit.
This is going into Leia and
that's even.
That's not good. So that's 2 for cover, 2 for heavy cover gone. That's still 6 dice. No. I don't like this for Leia.
Leia doesn't like this for Leia. Oh no!
Oh no!
Nothing? I mean, I know they're white defense dice, but nothing?
I mean, that's a d6. Odds on you should have had a block and a surge on there. At least one of those. That is so below average dice there.
I mean, she was on half health. I think she was going to go down anyway.
Yeah.
But wow, especially when Fraser's defense dice on the bikes were doing so well.
And that is another victory point for Fraser. That will actually translate to 2 victory points at the end of the game because it's a commander down.
Oh, true, yeah.
And the veterans are now taking up the
leadership role.
Layer, the layer-shaped hole in their leadership.
Yeah.
Which means all of Leia's command cards are no longer usable as well.
I think everything was kind of too close for the bombardment anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the other ones could have come in handy.
I mean, in hindsight, I think Wes probably could have really enjoyed using that bombardment on the Death Troopers in turn 1.
Yeah,
Or does it have to still be a line of sight?
The thing I found with Leia, if you really want to get that bombardment off, is put her down on the field last. Because you still need line of sight to the enemy you're shooting. So you go, right, who do I want to bombard? Those guys, great. If I set up here, I can see them, I can shoot them. Also, it's a 1 pip, and the chances your opponent plays a 1 pip that's also then guaranteed faster than you, not going to happen. On the first turn, at least. Like, no one's playing Han's 0 pip card on turn 1.
Oh, that's a good shot from those troopers into the stormtroopers.
Is that the veterans? That's the veterans, yeah.
Yeah, so the veterans, that's 4 hits and 2 crits.
Okay.
That could take out that stormtrooper unit.
There's some points Wes desperately needs now.
Although he's only got a 1 point deficit, it'll obviously translate to 2 later in the game when you take out.
He needs something to happen.
And I don't think those stormtroopers have activated yet either, so if he can take them out...
Yeah, or at least take out a decent amount of them. We will have to see.
Oh, he's got 1 block, but that is 5 down, so that is...
Just the leader left?
That unit wiped. There was only 5 in the unit there.
Oh, that was that unit, okay.
Yeah. Well, that frees up that flank for Wes. Again, that unit hadn't actually activated either, so that is a really good shot there from Wes.
Bit of a swing, yeah.
Looking at it activation-wise, that that does kind of put it into where's his favour again. He's got 4 activations to 3 now.
I think Fraser's considering what to do between putting out the bag for the troopers next to Kallus or just playing Kallus. Looks like he's going for the troopers. Maybe just taking some shots at the ATRT, see if he can get lucky with some crits.
Yeah.
Or, oh no, maybe moving towards the veterans.
I mean, the veterans at the moment are the...
That barricade, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, I think they kind of want to move away from the ATRT at the top of the board. The Death Troopers have quite handily got that area of the board locked down, I think.
Well, the other thing I've realised is the... Actually, no, do they need that? Yeah, the Death Troopers have the Fragmentation grenades, which means you surge to crit. It is range 1, so they would have to move to throw them at the ATRT, but that helps them get through the armor as well as their big gun.
Into the Rebel veterans. Not great.
It's not. I mean, only the special guy with his gun actually did anything there. Was it the DLT trooper? Yeah. With his 2 red dice. It does show like how the different dice can improve a shot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know there's so many people that know all the maths when it comes to the dice. I'm not one of them.
This gun uses a red, a black, and a white, and you go, well, I have no idea. I'll just roll it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm there just looking at it going, with all the different dice and trying to figure out. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, how many do I actually need?
It does allow for a bit more kind of differences between units as well, because you go, okay, well, this guy's got slightly better guns, but he's got this instead, or what have you. It's something I thought they might introduce with X-Wing 2.0, but they didn't. So fair enough.
I mean, I'm kind of in a weird way. I'm kind of glad they didn't.
Oh yeah, X-Wing complicates it enough, but
yeah. It looks like we're going for the double move with Kallus, not risking that suppression.
I wonder if he has swapped to melee mode, or will swap to melee mode.
I very much anticipate he will swap to melee mode.
Oh, you have to do a recovery to swap, don't you? It's the boat rifle. Reconfigure. When you recover, you may flip this card. Yeah.
So maybe he actually did it this turn with his card because it allowed him to do the recover action, didn't it?
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
So he made for a free recover action. So yeah, I can imagine that he probably did it then, knowing that he wasn't going to shoot anyway.
Because the melee version gives you charge and immune to pierce, which I don't think is going to come into play here, but charge is always nice, especially when you are a melee unit at that point.
Yeah.
Fraser, yeah, he's going for the offense.
Agile 1 and block, yeah.
Face me, let's have a look. 1 pip, Agent Kallus. Agent Kallus gains Agile 1 and block. During his activation, he may perform a free recover action. Oh, okay, so you can just do the recover at the start of your turn for free and move in. Cool. Enemy units engaged with Kallus cannot withdraw. So Agile 1 and block. Let me just double check how those work. So Agile. The Agile unit to gain a number of dodge tokens each time it performs. Okay, so he moves and gets a dodge. Nice.
Ooh.
And block is when it's defending, if it spends any dodge tokens during the applied dodge and cover step, it gains surge to block. So it's like deflect, but you don't bounce it back.
And obviously he's got tactical 1 as well, so when he does a move, he's going to gain an aim. So he's just moved and charged, so he's going to have an aim and a dodge token.
So I've seen people say Kallus is a good, cheap leader. I can see why. He's got his card that gives everyone the observation tokens for the leadership stuff, and he can really get stuck in there. That 1 pip has potential to be very mean.
And with with the upgrades he's got, so strict orders, targeting scopes, bow rifle, and into the fray,
I forgot
he's
that.
only 119. He's 118 points. Unfortunately, the dice cam turned off at this point. We did get it back though, and I think we only missed a little bit.
Do we know how many rebels live? Oh, okay. Here's the defense.
We will know how many rebels live. So it looked like it was 3 attacks going through, and 2 rebel veterans down. Not terrible. I think that actually is quite good for Fraser there.
Also, they can't disengage this turn.
Just going to have to try and punch Kallus in the face.
Try and punch him, yeah.
Which did only get...
Same as their ranged die, it's 1 black die, but yeah. Although I did once have a lone rebel trooper punch the last bit of damage onto a Darth Maul.
Nice.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. I was still in combat. I was like, you know what? I'll try a punch, and it was a crit, and it went through. So, never give up.
I mean, I think one of my favourite ones that I've actually done, again, in limited games though, is when I managed to snipe Vader with an ARC trooper and actually put damage onto Vader. It was like one of the very first attacks I ever did in Legion, and it just felt fun.
Especially against
good.
Vader. Any damage you can get against an opponent's Vader is good damage.
I played against Wes in a 500-point game, and he had Vader, and I went just with a clone commander because I want lots of activations.
Yeah.
And my ARC troopers, my ARC and 1 Bark speeder basically went after Vader, and it took a few turns to really wound Vader, but it did feel kind of good. Rebel troopers going into the dot. The Death Troopers, no damage on the Death Troopers. They are just tanking it.
The board is looking a lot more sparse at this point.
Yeah.
Although I guess now that the bikes and that unit of stormtroopers are gone, it's looking a little more even. Plus, the veterans haven't activated, and they could do some more damage to Kallus. I don't. How much health is Kallus on? He's on 1.
He's got 5 health left, so they can't
They can't
take him down.
But they can do a number on him.
Yeah, potentially.
Definitely heading in his direction.
I mean, you'd anticipate. Well, if it survives this, that's a lot of crits.
Ooh.
And that's a surge to crit, or is that
I'm not sure what the attack is. Stormtroopers. What have they done to
I'm
make
putting it up.
the DLT? Oh, the DLT has
Impact 1, yeah.
turn 1 to a crit.
Oh, that's gonna be tricky because
So, and it's already wounded.
is it 4 on the walker?
It's 4 wounds overall to take a damage.
Oh yeah.
Whatever that term is, and it's got 6 health total. So if all of this goes through, the walker is down. If some of this goes through, it might lose some weaponry. Nope, never mind, it's gone.
Oh, those defense dice have been rather mean for Wes there, unfortunately.
On the other hand, for Fraser, if you roll 4 crits,
if you roll,
to go through. I do like Wes's chess kind of, the king, I'll
Yeah.
push the king over. Maybe be a bit gentle with the models, but yeah.
I mean, again, Wes is a good fun player to play against. Like, he may show his frustration occasionally, but you know what? He's just happy to actually get. He's just always happy to play. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about Wes and Fraser as well. Where he's obviously one of the guys in our store that knows Legion quite well. Even when he's playing, he's not just there saying, he's not just there trying to win. He's also at the same time he's going, oh, don't forget you can do this, don't forget you can do that, which is actually really nice. He's very encouraging, which I think is a really good thing to have when you're playing. Oh, see if we can...
I think this is going for those Death Troopers.
Getting some crits in, that's what he needs.
Yeah,
Oh, so that hit will be got rid of with the cover.
Oh,
come on! We want to see a Death Trooper go down here. Those...
I mean, he's got them in a good position defensively.
Yeah.
At least against the Walker that seems to be the only thing at this point shooting at them.
Well, the Rebel Troopers also took a shot. It didn't go very well.
At that point, do you go, you know what? I need the points. I'm just going to pivot and shoot those Stormtroopers. I've got the because it's a ranged gun. I can't even hit these Death Troopers. And in terms of points for victory points, the Stormtroopers are worth the same, right?
Yeah, because it's not about the actual points of the unit. It's just you get a victory point for taking a unit down.
The bigger game,
yeah,
than the individual little conflicts that happen. Like sometimes you get so focused on like, oh, I've got to kill Vader or I've got to kill Krennic or what have you, that you forget that you should be capturing like a box somewhere over in the middle of the battle.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Sometimes you see a model or a unit. Whoa!
What? Sorry, who was that? That was the Death Troopers.
Into the AT-RT.
Oh, that was the fragmentation grenades.
Yes.
Oh, but no, only the two crits?
Yeah, Armor gets rid of still a great roll. Managed to change one with Impact 1. But, oh my god.
Anything but the Walker, that would have been incredible.
I mean, that would have been those Rebel Troopers down. Yeah.
I mean, I bet Fraser's annoyed that wasn't surge results, because with the grenades they surged a crit, but yeah.
Oh, that would have been...
What a roll.
Yeah. Don't ever lose those dice, Fraser. Wes will get you some new ones. Defense dice, at least. But yeah, I mean, we were saying, as before that incredible roll, just saying, sometimes you see like a specific unit or a specific model on the board, and you just get so focused on it. Like in X-Wing, you see the Gauntlet is very intimidating. You see the Falcon. On here, you see a Vader, or you see the AT-ST, and you think, right, AT-ST, I need to run away from that. But also, they could use that to put it in a position where it's like, actually, I need to get near it, but I don't want to get near it at the same time.
Got some decent punches going into Kallus here.
Yeah, that's a really good roll. I mean, he's got...
Ooh, all four. Okay.
He's got 2 dodges, though.
True. And now he gets blocked, so he's now surging on defense. But in terms of offense, that's as good as Wes was going to get.
I mean...
Aside from maybe all.
Oh.
What? Fraser. Like, I don't often like to be like, oh, the dice are really in one player's favour, but what? I know they're red. He's paid the points for the red, I guess that's the benefit.
He's paid the points for the red, and he's asked the Force to help as well.
Yeah.
That was a brutal turn 4 there. And yeah, it's swung so hard back into Fraser's.
I don't think Fraser's played his 1 pip, and I reckon he probably has like, what is it? The ambush, right? Just quick.
He does have ambush.
Let's go for push. Okay.
Well, you know, push actually 2 units. That's not bad.
You know what? Because Wes has already played his ambush and Leia is gone, he has no 1 pips left. And Kallus's ability Cunning means that he would go first on a tie. So actually, that was the smart play. He can orders 2 units and gets the benefit of playing ambush.
I mean, he could.
He thought that through, but if he did, well done. Because it was only after he did it that I pieced that together.
And that's where, like, that strategic thinking and almost card counting in a way that you need to do. It's not all about just what you are doing. You need to be paying attention.
You don't go, oh, I need Kallus to activate first. I'll play the 1 pip. It's actually, no, hang on. What are all of my options? What's the best one?
Yeah.
I do want to shout out that Wes has his cards in Leia sleeves. That's a nice touch.
It is quite cool.
And potentially these veterans. Oh no,
No, they can survive this. Yeah. I mean, now's the time for those defense dice to start playing ball. Spending the dodge that they obviously gained from getting an order token.
Oh, well, one went down, which compared to previous encounters is not as bad.
No, that was actually pretty good. Not going to be enough to take Kallus down though, because he still has 5 wounds. So, does Wes just say, I'm going to hold off on those and then go to the bag? And yes, he does. Here's a question. Do you have a bag for your order tokens, or do you just stack them and pull them from the stack?
I get a bag. I only recently actually got the little like coin collecting things that you use, and it's made my stack much bigger. So I do need to get a bag. I have a bag for like my X-wing dice, but it's not big enough for all of my Legion tokens. So I'll figure that out.
Yeah, I just put my order tokens in a little stack.
Around the room I'm currently in, I do have a dice for my D&D dice, which has probably too many dice in it. I could probably use that for dice. I've said dice too many times now. What's going on here? Oh, dice. Okay, right.
So the Rebel Troopers are shooting into the Stormtroopers with a very good roll. 3 crits and a hit there.
To the number of units still in that Rebel troop, that's good.
Oh my!
Yeah, that's also good.
Those dice will be on sale at the end of this video.
No, they won't. I've already bought it before this goes out.
Yeah, that is just insane on there. That is absolutely insane.
I know we talked about it earlier, but the paint job Fraser's done on those Stormtroopers is very clean.
Yeah.
But also, Wes's Rebels, I know they are in like the sort of muddy kind of colours, but it works. I especially like his kind of rusted looking ATRTs with like the brown.
Yeah.
So
I did like those when he started unpacking them. I was just having a look because again, I don't know. Ooh. Going
out to.
Probably launching a ton of frag grenades at that ATRT.
Ooh, what, you reckon they reconfigured and they're going for the range? No, because they still have range 2 for it.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they just want to say the ATRT hasn't activated, so maybe they're thinking, let's take them out.
I'm just curious as to why it moved.
RT or the Death Troopers?
The Death Troopers.
Looked like they were out of range. They were just out of range 1.
But what did they need for range 1? I thought they did the fragmentation grenades last turn, though.
Not 100% sure. Maybe. No, the DLT 19 has impact 1.
No, it was the grenade launcher last turn. Now it's the fragmentation grenades, I think. Maybe. I'm not sure. Either way, they did to attack and got 2 wounds, but not enough to take it out.
No, but it is down to 3, so it will now have to roll on the damage.
Yes. No, it needs 4 wounds for it.
Oh, maybe it is already on 4 wounds. There might be one hidden. Actually, yeah, I can. Yeah, I just saw the other damage token. I saw the 3 and then the 1 there. So yeah, down to 4, so it is damaged now. So it will have to roll a white dice to see if it is essentially suppressed or not. And it is essentially suppressed.
Maybe you move to try and get out of the firing arc.
Maybe.
But again, he was safe for... I don't know. Well, yeah, that'll be a mystery.
Maybe he was hoping to get in, do some good damage on it. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But I mean...
With every commentary, you can't tell everything.
Yeah.
Question is, what does Wes do with that walker? Does he try and rush in? No, he's just taking the...
He's only got one activation, so...
Oh, that was the damage, okay.
Yeah. Oh, more defense.
I mean, I'm impressed that the white die even landed a crit.
Yeah. It is just absolutely incredible. Those Death Troopers have just tanked everything. I still think that the speeder bikes are probably more the MVP because they just laughed off so much and did a lot.
Yeah, one thing I do like doing with the ATRT, especially since they are a climbing vehicle and an expert climber, is get them up somewhere high. Like rush this guy at the top of the board, across and up on top of the cave, maybe?
Just shoot down on everything from there.
You get improved cover from being raised up. Plus, well, actually, no, that doesn't matter because you got armor. But just like, come and try and get me, yeah?
You can negate your opponent's cover as well, then, because you can see past that thing.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad. And
Stormtroopers into the rebels.
Just seeing if they've got cover, I think was
when it's a weird angle like that, it's the case of like, well, I think it has to be like 50% in or out of cover. I'm never entirely sure.
Defense dice.
Not bad. Yeah, surge on defense, so only one goes down.
Oh, that is good news there for Wes. Then it's the final activation, which will be the veteran troopers.
Take some punches. See what do. It's not gonna swing the tide at all, but swing the tide, turn the tide. That's the one.
Yeah. But this is going to be the last activation.
A command card called Turning the Tide. I don't know why I said swing. Anyway.
So, 2 hits under the aim, and the other, well, double aim. So that's 3. Won't be enough to take Kallus down, unfortunately. Oh my gosh.
I'm speechless at these dice.
They're just doing so well. Wow.
Benefit of red dice.
Yeah, so there we go, guys. That's the 500-point skirmish with the incredible defense dice. You can see me re-rolling to make sure that they're not loaded. Really well played from both players, but Fraser does take the win there.
I think those speeder bikes were the MVP for him. They
did so well.
So much of Wes's team before they went down.
Yeah, and obviously surviving 2 rounds of melee against the ATRT was just insane. But yeah, I thought that was a thoroughly great game to actually watch in person and be wandering around and getting loads of good shots for. So again, thank you very much to Wes and Fraser. Well done, Fraser, for just being really defensive and offensive all at the same time. It was great. James, I do hope you enjoyed that Legion game. A bit of a change from our usual X-Wing.
Yeah, it was a nice change, yeah.
And guys, obviously, don't worry, we're not ditching X-Wing. We will have more. We are going to get more Legion up. We do really want to hear, though, if there's anything that you feel that we might have missed during the game or anything you'd like to see more of from the Legion footage, drop it in the comments below. We're still getting to grips with recording Legion, so we'd like to hear what you would want to see more, and we'll try and action that. In the meantime, though, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.